Very interesting sugis today.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. He's thanking me for not letting you. Okay, Zokti Gemara. Lamites Omid Aleph.
Yesterday was no walk in the park.
This is, I'm talking about, this is easy. This is easy.
See what you got.
Rabbi Chananya ben Atignois Oimer. So yesterday, Noam gave a shir, and he said in the shir that if there's white specks on the eye, so there's a whole process how you see if it's a mum or not. You have to wait. Basically, it takes 3 months. You have to feed this animal hay that's moist, and then it's dry, and you give him a gregarious every day. It's like a whole process. You go through the process. If he doesn't heal, then the white specks in the eye are a mum.
Hey, good morning.
Oh.
Oh.
So
you, eyes closed.
So these 80 days that Reb Chanina ben Atigna says, so Reb Chanina ben Atigna says, you can't just see the white specks on day 1 and then look at day 80 and say, oh, it's a mum. You have to do 3 checkups. You have to be exactly a third. So if you divide 80 by 3, it comes out to 26.6. So we're not going to make the guy Meshuggah. We say every 26 and a half days you have to check. So you check 26 and a half, and then what you're basically left over, that equals 53. So you're left over 27. That's what Rashi says, 26 and a half, 26 and a half, and 27. Basically every 26 and a half days. That's the bottom line. But it's like, if you don't have a smartphone and you don't have this reminder, it's a real pain. You have to feed this animal every single day, a gregarious. First moist, then dry, and then make sure that you do a checkup on day 26 and a half, not day 25 and not day 26 and a half. Okay. Zog Gemara, Boimene Pinchas, Achud Mar Shmuel Shmuel. Shmuel Goladar had a brother, his name was Pinchas. So Pinchas asked him a question. Ochal v'lo itzi. Okay, so you go through the whole procedure, 80 days straight, you don't miss a day, and you do the whole thing, and he didn't heal. So what do we say? It's a mum. L'mafreya have a mumma, or mikanula bo have a mumma. When exactly do we figure out that it's a mum? On day 80 it turned into a mum, or on day 1 was a mum, we just only found out on day 80 that what you saw on day 1 was actually the mum. What's the difference? The Ma'anaf Kimina. On day 1, we're talking about a kachim animal, not a bechor. He redeemed the kachim, and then he went to the Rav, and the Rav said, wait a minute, not so fast, you have to do a whole process, 80 days. But he already put money aside, he was already paid the animal. So if the mum was actually a mum from day 1, so now the money that he put aside for the pidyon, he used it. What happens when you use money of a pidyon? You have to pay Meila, you have to pay a fifth more, you have to bring a korban asham. Because Lamais, at the end of the day, these white specks in his eye are a true mum. We only found 80 days later. So the pidyon worked, his Meila is a real Meila, and he's chayav a korban. But if you say from this point on, it takes 80 days to find out, and from now on it's a mum, okay. So Pinchas asked his brother, Chari Shmuel alei. Shmuel said this pasuk, Pischim bozuzu vaz. The crippled are eventually in time of Mashiach, they're going to go and they're going to take the loot from the goyim. People in wheelchairs and not able to walk, they're going to run around grabbing stuff. It's a nace. So says Shmuel to his brother, it's a nace. You're so stupid, you're nothing compared to me, and you ask me a kasha that I can't even answer. And from today on, that's what I'm going to be using. Pischin bozubaz. He asked me a good kasha.
This is called the classic backhanded compliment.
No, there's
He's
no.
complimenting him. He's saying you asked a question which I could not answer, but he's saying it in such a the compliment comes with a slap.
I don't think there's any compliment there. He says piston. He called him straight up piston.
Yeah,
what
but
I
he said,
noticed
I can't
is
answer your question.
I don't know if nobody talks about this, but I thought maybe he was playing a little bit with the words because his name was
They do
Pinchas.
talk about
Obviously,
it. They do talk about
Really?
it. Yeah.
obviously that's what he's
I
doing.
He
missed
has the
it.
whole shot out of this. Pinchas and Sochem, and it's really set
Okay. I thought I looked over there and I didn't see it. Fine. Sorry.
Ois Tez Zayin.
Very good. Okay. Nothing. So I was like, I thought I was a pisset. Like, why doesn't anybody mention this? It's like it's kind of obvious, but okay. Baruch Hashem.
Pinchas Bazubas.
Got it. Now, let me just ask you a question. When exactly did this guy do the Me'ilah? You're sending it on the group? Okay. I have one of those at home. I thought I checked over there. I guess not. According to Rashi, it seems from Rashi, very interesting, that the guy did Me'ilah during the 80 days. That's when the Me'ilah occurred. It's interesting because when did he set aside the money? During the 80 days. In the beginning of the 80 days. During the 80 days. What if he did Me'ilah after the 80 days?
Well, then you should already know.
Oh, he knows. No. He found out it's a mum. But he set aside the money on day one. Could you set aside money on day one? Is it considered a good pidyon? That when I do Me'ilah on day 81, 82, that the money that I set aside on day one, it's a pidyon, and I was mile in that pidyon. It's still a good kasha. Who cares when the mum? So I know for a fact it's a mum. Pinchas's question is it a good pidyon or not? Forget about Me'ilah. Rashi says no. The whole Me'ilah happened during the 80 days. In other words, if he did the Me'ilah after 80 days, it would 100% be a Me'ilah according to Rashi. Why? The other Rishonim say no. Other Rishonim say that goof is the kasha. Is the pidyon a good pidyon? Forget about Me'ilah. And even if I do the pidyon on day 85, after it could be it's not a Me'ilah because the pidyon wasn't at the right time. You have to do the pidyon after 80 days. Zok the Mishnah. We're going through all the limbs in an animal, all the ivarim. Now we're up to the nose. We discussed the ear. We discussed the eye. Now we're up to the nose.
So someone said that it starts from the top and works its way down the head.
Okay, that makes sense. All the way down to the bottom. Now we're going to talk about the bris and everything. Okay. Chod Moshe Nika v'nivgam v'nizdak. The nose has a hole, it's missing a part, or it's split. Svamoi, the Shita brings the lashon of the Mishnah, which is svasai, which is not the upper lip. Svamoi would mean the mustache, kind of like the upper lip. Svasai means any lip, even the bottom one. Shenikva has a hole in it. Shenivgama, it's missing the shenizdika. So these shaitim walking around in the street with those things in their lips are alimumin. Okay?
More ways than one.
In their head also, yeah. Torah Rabbanan.
What is the Mishnah saying?
These are mumim. If you have a hole in your nose, the animal in its nose, a real hole, it goes from side to side, or it has a slit in its nose, it's a mum, just like a slit in the ear is a mum. Torah Rabbanan, nikvu chatom in zelotich. Rashi doesn't say these words. The bottom line is the nostrils, the outer part of the nostrils over here are punctured. Mibachutz harezimum. Mibifnim, what's mibifnim? The dividing wall. I know what it's called. It's called I have a deviated septum, so it's called a septum. This wall inside. What's the problem with that? Nobody could see it. So if you have a hole inside your nose somewhere, it's not megula. We're talking about, we're going to talk about soon, the gums. That's Mephorish Mishnah. We had the sugi a few times. Gums, is possible that the animal screams, opens up its mouth wide, you could look inside. But a nose, unless you flip it over upside down, Patrick Ewing, okay, fine. Harezim mum, mibifnim einoi mum. You're not sitting here. You didn't hear what he said. Fine. I'm just hello, live. 1,033 people. We're down 3. Rabbi said I have to start working again. Svasai shenikva. What about a lip? V'shenivgema, v'shenizdaka, amra papa, tura, bara, desivsei. We're talking about the way they understand Rashi is, we're talking about the part of the lip that meets the lip when it's closed. When you close your lip, that's the part. But anything inside of that, right, the part that touches, this part of the lip is what we're concerned about. I guess animals don't put chapstick and they don't have that whole healing process that we have. They have a little slit, bye-bye. It's a moment. But if it's inside, right over here, inside the lip, then...
Well, it's a slit that can't heal itself. It's not a mum oiver, it's a mum kavua.
Yeah, I'm saying, what kind of, it doesn't say. Like, when we're talking about the ear, we said even if he just runs his nail over it and he can feel it, it's a slight little gima, it's a gima. It doesn't say what the gima here is.
By the ear, if it stops the nail from going through.
That's what I just said.
That's longer than...
No, it's tiny. Because it's like a sakin, Rashi says, like a sakin of shchita. Shchita, it's nothing. It's a microscopic.
Surface, but the ear is it's a soft surface. So it
Yeah.
gets deeper in order to...
No, Rashi says like a shchita knife, the same kind of hole as a shchita knife. If a shchita knife is a fraction of a centimeter, then on the ear it's also a fraction of a centimeter. It doesn't go into... You run your finger on it, you feel a little... That's it. So on the lip, I don't know exactly, but I don't think it's very deep. Says the Mishnah, so this we had. It's interesting that the Chazanish points out, I'm trying to figure out exactly, he says, okay, since it's this part of the lip, so then it doesn't include nekev. It's only, how do you do a nekev? You have to go down this way, like you'll end up in the chin. I think that's what he means. Because it's not over here and it's not over here. It's not the whole lip. It's only the part that meets the other lip. So how do you have a nekev? You have to have a nekev drilling down this way. That's something else. That's split. Nekev means a hole. A hole. Like a pierced ear. So how do you have a pierced lip according to this pshat in the Gemara? That's the chudoi of the sfatayim. Chudoi means the spitz. So you have to go from the spitz all the way downwards. It's very difficult, says the Chazanish. Says the Mishnah, we had this a few times already. We're talking about the gums. The Gemara brought up this Mishnah as a raya. So if you have the gums, the outer gums, they're missing a drop. The they're cut. That's a mum that everybody could see. Hapnimim, if it's the inner ones, the back ones, and the Gemara is going to explain where those are, shenekru, only if it's a mum garua, like the Torah says, it has to be completely uprooted and not just a little cut like the front gums. We don't go from the tyoimus. Now tyoimus here, this is the only chart for today, Baruch Hashem. There's 6 teeth back here, the molars. And if you look closely, these teeth look like double teeth. You see this one right over here, it's one tooth, but it has a line down the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each one of these, this is 1, 2, 3. So they're called tyoimus because they're twins. Our teeth also, same thing. If you open it, they're double the size of a tooth. And if you look at it from the side, this line down the middle is it doesn't split it. It just looks like it's 2 teeth. This is how I got the picture. I didn't do this. This is the best one I could find online, and I had somebody show it already. This is the front teeth, right? I don't know if you guys remember from the shchita. There are no teeth from here to here. And basically, I think that's why they have to go sideways. They chew sideways rather than up and down. They have to get the food from here to here somehow.
There's only teeth at the bottom, and there's a plate at the top.
Yeah. This plate over here. There's supposed to be. It's missing maybe.
Near in the front. It's just a flat.
Okay, the kids are here. I think in this picture, actually, if you look on the top ones, you see it even better. This is the whole tooth. It's a white line. There's a white line going down the middle, but it's part of the tooth. It's a tyoimus. It's a double tooth. So now that we know this, I can turn this over here. Minat tyoimus v'lefnim, where these molars start and inwards towards the back. V'af lois atyoimus, and not even the molars. But kitzer, if the gum is missing from anywhere over here in this area, it's not a mum. Not a mum. Ton Rabbanon. Now, pay attention to the wording here, this brisa, because it hardly makes sense. Ton Rabbanon at Yomes, these large molars, Eziot Yomes. What's going on here? At Yomes, Eziot Yomes. You want to start from Eziot Yomes, okay? First, you say a word, Hat Yomes, Eziot Yomes, Minat Yomes, V'lefnim. You're not even answering. Just really, the brisa said Minat Yomes V'lefnim, from the molars in. That's nothing. That's not a mum. But it doesn't say that. It says Ezut Yomes Minat Yomes Lefnim, but Yomes Atzmo Kilefnim. Fine. The Gemara is going to say the Sur Mechzer. We have to stick in a couple words to make it fit. Rabbi Shua ben Kaputzai Yomer Ein Shoichtim Elo Ala Chitzonius Bilvad. So really, we have to understand what the difference between Rabbi Shua ben Kaputzai and the Tanakama is. You know, the Tanakama says that from the Yomes and Lefnim is nothing, and Rabbi Shua ben Kaputzai says it's nothing. You don't check. It's not a mum if you have something wrong with the gums that are under the molars. We don't care at all. Micah Omar, what's going on? What's the beginning of the brisa? V'sur Rabbi Shua ben Kaputzai and the Tanakh. This is what the brisa means to say. What's the inner molars? From the molars backwards, that's considered pnimi of the gum. You want to know what a gum is? Where the gum starts? From the molars back. And the molars themselves, it's not from past the molars. It's the actual molars themselves are considered inner ones. Only if they have the same mum as the front ones, then it's nothing. So the Tanakama, now we understand. Tanakama says that if there's an akira underneath the molars, if it's completely uprooted the gum, it's just dangling there. It's not a little cut, not a slice in the front like we have in the front gums. If it's completely uprooted, then you could do shchita. Then it's such a mum that it's finished. And what does Rabbi Shua ben Kaputzai Yomer? In shechtim ela al chitzonis al pnim shenekru mishchat alayla shechtinon aval ipsulei mifsal. Basically, we have three shittas here. What's the status of the back gum? We have the Tanakama that says that if they were uprooted, it's a good mum. We have who was the last one that says Rabbi Shua who? Okay, Chanina ben yeah. That says it's nothing. I don't care about it uprooted, even if it's uprooted 0. And then we have Rabbi Shua ben Kaputzai says something in between. It's not 0, and you can't check, but it passes. You can't bring it as a carbon. 3 shittas. Mishchat alayir lo shachtinon avol ipsulei mifsal. Why? Rabbi Chanina ben Atigas Omer Atiyom is called ikor, va'afilu ipsulei lo ifsal is nothing. So basically, what's going on here? Very pashut. If the Tanakama says that you do shech if there's an akira. Why? Because l'maisa the animal could open up its mouth, it could scream, and you could see it. So it's a visible mum. I could check on it. Chanina ben Atigas says no, it's nothing. Back over there, we don't care. It's in it. So what does Shua ben Kaputzai say? Shua ben Kaputzai says, listen. Since you could potentially see it, and it looks like a mum, it's not a real mum. I agree that it's not a real mum, but since it looks like a mum, midoiraisa, you can't use it anymore as a carbon. Any carbon that you could confuse with a mum, midoiraisa, you can't use it. It's very interesting halacha. It's not a gzeira d'rabbanan. It becomes a deiraisa that I can't use it. Now we're talking about missing things. Yesh mechusar ever mebifnim. Very interesting shayla. A person, an animal, doesn't have one of its kidneys. It's missing a kidney.
How do you know?
Because somebody took it out. They did a
Chinese.
What do you mean? How do you know? Because when you open up the animal after shechita, you see that it's. But or beforehand, Yeah. Don't they have where is it in India that they sell organs? China, people in jail. China. There's a crazy market over there.
China. That's the ikar market of the lungs.
Kids, if somebody needs a heart or a kidney, they go to China and they have like 1 million people in jail. They take a guy there, they take out his heart, and I think the guy stops living, and they transplant it in Shalom Yisrael. So they did it to an animal, like the other animal needed a kidney quickly. They took it out. So now the shaila is it considered a mum or not? Because l'maisa, at the end of the day, it's hidden inside the animal. Yesh mechusay b'mifnim or im mechusay b'mifnim. L'may, ilu b'chor, yisach v'yivik. It says it has to be on the outside, it has to be visible. Ilu kochim, same thing. Averes, it's blind, broken bones. So it's not a problem. The shchutei will have fruge lo yibaylo. So for shchita b'chor and to be poida psulei mikdashim, we know that it's not a good enough mum. Ki mibaylo nifsulei, to say that it's not a good carbon. My tamim yiyeh l'ratzayin, Amar Achmana, tamim in chisaron loy. It's not a problem. If you look at the pasuk, it says these are the words. Tamim yiyeh l'ratzayin kol mum lo yeh. But look at the side, it says that. So it says the word mum. Ma mum, just like the mum we already established is visible on the outside, and even there's a whole shadow that just went through. Could the gums in the inside of the mouth that potentially you could see? That says no, gums on the inside are nothing. So certainly a kidney on the inside is nothing. It's not a mum. Says the Gemara Toshma, the ace shtei hakloyos. The word shtei is extra. Why? Because it should say es hakloyos. Kloyos means two. So what's shtei? V'loy bal kul yachas, v'loy bal shalosh kloyos. So this comes to tell us that an animal with 1 kidney and an animal with 3 kidneys is garnished. Now, right off the bat, I know that 3 kidneys, he was born like that. Nobody was ever born with 2 kidneys and then developed a 3rd kidney later on in life. There's 3 kidneys. We have a contradiction. So, we're going to have this contradiction. It says mafurish over here in this brayso that 2 kloyos, 1 kloya is no good. It says mafurish, v'loy bal kol yachas. We learn it from shtei kloyos, extra word. 1 kidney is no good. And the contradiction is that it says mafurish tan yidoch yisirena l'rabos bal kol yachas. You could use 1 kidney. What are we going to do with this? So there's 4 explanations the Gemara says. Either this shiloh that we have right now is something that's hidden, a mum that's hidden, considered a mum that's hidden. That's the difference between the 2 things. Or is it even possible to be born with 1 kidney? That's the shiloh. Is it physically possible to be born with 1 kidney? Or the Gemara says maybe one brayso is talking about it was born with 1, so that can't be a chasar. It was born like that. And the other one was born with 2 and you took 1 out. What's the 4th one? I forgot already. Oh, yeah. If that's the final pshat in the Gemara. If the chisarn happened after it died, way after it died, like by zrika time.
Then what? Then it lost the kidney? What does that
Yeah.
mean?
Maybe the animal has to have a kidney then. The animal has to have a kidney. It has to be whole when you bring it on the mizbeach. Whatever. It can't be missing things.
How did it lose it after
So we'll get there. I'm just throwing this out in the beginning. No, somebody took it out and threw it in the garbage after the shechita. Removed it. Is that an issue or not? So let's see inside. Sabrua. So the Gemara starts off. The kuliyama ain't bria bachas. Everybody agrees that you cannot be born with 1 kidney. Now, derech hagav, I have a relative, very close relative, that already has 2 children, Baruch Hashem. But when this person was born, they only had 1 kidney. It was born. We saw on the ultrasound only 1 kidney. That's it. A little bit of a scare at the time of birth, but grew up perfectly. No, I don't even know if this person knows that they have 1 kidney. Probably yes. The kids are. So maybe humans are different. But the Gemara is going to take it back. Maybe that's not the machlokas. But over here, the Gemara holds it's not possible to be born with 1 kidney. Everybody agrees it's not possible.
Maybe that's a Stefansky gene.
Ooh, trying to get to where it is, but you can live without a kidney. That's the whole. Baruch Hu created a situation that you are able to donate.
Right.
Gives you a donation organ.
Only one heart.
Only
one heart.
Yeah,
One brain.
only one heart. Why? Because the kidney is what? Kavana, das. Okay. The kuliyal main brio bachas. You can't be born with one kidney. What's the gears over here? Where's the gimel? Va michsar chaser. Vaho michsar chaser. But at the end of the day, you see that this animal only has one. So, but it was born with two. Le'em v'okim miflig. The Gemara saw chisaron mevifnim shmei chisaron. U'mar saw chisaron mevifnim lo shmei chisaron. So that gufa is the shaila. So that can answer our question. We want to know if something that's not visible to the naked eye is considered a chisaron. Yes, you can see it on an ultrasound, but you can't see it with your eye. There's a man that says it's not a problem. There's a man that says or the kula almo. No, the kula almo is bria b'achas. No, it's possibly born with one, and Stefansky knows that somebody was born like that. And it's considered a chisaron. But like kasher. If an animal is born with one kidney, no, there's nothing wrong with this animal. That's how it was born. But if it was born with two and you took it out, that's a chisaron, that's a mum. As the Gemara of Vadumi the Shalish Katani, remember this question because it's important for the next Gemara. Vadumi the Shalish Katani. How could you tell me that the Bryce that talks about one kidney and three kidneys is talking about a kidney that was born with two and you removed one? Because it's not the other Bryce. The other Bryce says that one kidney is fine. We learned that one kidney is good. So the one kidney is good is talking about that's how he was born. The one kidney that's no good is talking about that he was born with two and one was removed. But what's the continuation of that exact Bryce? That he was born with three. So Mela the Reish is also that he's born with one. Can't be that he's born with two and removed. It has to be similar to the Seifa. That's how he's born. There's no change from birth. The Gemara doesn't say hakide isi, hakide whatever. Ma shalish mikara, v'achas mikara. Ella third pshat. Hacha b'yesh bria mikara k'mifligi. Mar sober yesh bria ba'achas, u'mar sober ein bria ba'achas. The machlok is whether or not that's how you could be born. That goof is the machlok. Now the only problem is what? Well, until now you didn't have this child. Before the first question was you cannot be born like that. The second pshat is you could be born like that, and now we're mixing the two pshat together. But I'm saying, what's the difference between the first pshat and the second pshat? All right, interesting Rashi here about. We're not going to get into it now. Rashi asks, why do we say the same thing? He has to be dumya the shalosh. Why now not? And Rashi says that in the beginning everybody held. Okay, whatever. Rebbe Omar the Kuli Alma in Brio Bachas. No, we're going back. You can't be born like that. And of course, the chisaron inside is considered a chisaron. And the fourth pshat is v'lo kasha. How do we explain the contradiction in the Brises? On the one hand, it says one kidney is not a mum, and the other place says one kidney is. One is talking about it was missing before shkita, so it's a mum. It's missing after shkita, it's not a mum. Well, after shkita, kodim kabbalah mishari. Now the Gemara just goes in to explain exactly what we mean. It can't be before kabbalah. If after shkita it's missing a piece from its ear, and only afterwards he did kabbalah sadam pasal shenemar v'lo k'chem hapar shoya kvar. He has to be like before. So now we have to say that's talking about that the chisaron happened, the kidney went missing after Kabbalah. Because before Kabbalah we have a pasuk, it has to be complete. As the Gemara lach Kabbalah kodim zriko mishari, Vatanya said Tomim Zocher by Pesach. It says that it has to be Tomim Zocher ben Shana Yelachem, a year old, not more. Shiyat Tomim ben Shana v'shash chita. U'menayim b'Kabbalah v'locha v'hazoya. How do you know that has to be a year old? By all four avodos, even by the zriko tamaloi mar yeh shiyu kol avoyosaf ham uben shana, has to be whole, complete, and a year old. So Mela, what do you see? You see that everything has to be complete. So even through Zrika also, he should have to have all his organs intact. Tirgama Aben Shana. No, that's the Pasagia is referring to that he's a year old, that he didn't have a birthday after Shchita and the Zrika. So let's say he's born Erev Pesach the year before at 12 o'clock, and you shechted him at 11 o'clock, and by the time you did Zrika, it's 1 o'clock. So now he turned 2 years old after he died. If you have a carbon that people got rid of everything, all you have left is one kezayis, you can do zrika based on one kezayis, all you need is kezayis. You don't need all the limbs intact, you don't need the kidney intact. So Memela, that it says over here, that the carbon Pesach is intact, it's dafka, it's talking about that he's a year old, not about his Avar. And Memela, we have another pshat that there's a difference between before Shechita or before Kabbalah and after Kabbalah. If he has his kidney intact before Kabbalah of the dam, then if it goes missing before that, it's a mum. If it goes missing after, it's not a mum. Could he have a birthday after he dies? Yes, we base his birthday on hours, not on days, not on years. It goes by exactly the time he was born, and his birthday happened by the hour. And since he has to be a year old, so he had a birthday, he's no good after, even though his birthday happened after Shechita. Zog the Gemara. This is where you're going to thank me. No, you don't have to say this shit right here.
I'm already thinking it.
Lei mekitanoi. Eber b'fnim. We're talking about is a mum that you can't tell from looking at it. Is it considered a mum or not? Says the Gemara. It says in the pasuk. Umoch. We're talking about beitzim. Umoch v'kosos v'nosik v'karos. If they're squashed, crushed, detached, and cut. We already had this Gemara like 2 days ago about the detached and cut. Kulam bebeitzim divrei Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says all four of these mumim are in the beitzim. Says the Gemara, bebeitzim v'lo begid. It doesn't make any sense. The gid, the male member, is much more visible than the beitzim, because beitzim really are in a sack. What you see is not the beitzim. The beitzim are inside, so they have an issue. They're crushed inside, but you don't see that. All you see is skin. If the member itself gets a mum, you're going to see on the outside. So all these things, if it gets crushed, whatever, all these things should be a big mum by a gid. Says the Gemara, Ema af beitzim, the Rabbi Yehuda is machlokes. Rabbi Yehuda says all four things in the Torah go on the gid itself as well. Beitzim and the gid. Rabbi Lezmi Yaakov Omer, he says a big chiddush that we didn't know. We always thought Moch, Kosas, Nosuk, Chorus is all in beitzim. He says no. Kulam begid. We're not even talking about beitzim. We're talking about the gid itself, not the beitzim. If you have a moch, you have a crushed beitzah, it's not a mum. Why? Because it's hidden. And Rabbi Yossi Omer, moch bekosus, if it's crushed and squashed, af bebeitzim. Nosuk bekorus, begidin bebeitzim loy. This is interesting, because Lamaisa, you have like the sack. And if you have beitzim that are detached or cut, so they fall into the sack. But that's not a mum that you could see.
It looks regular.
It looks regular. You look at the animal, you see something hanging. You don't know if it's detached or not detached. These beitzim are on some sort of string, whatever it's called. So it's detached from the string. They fell into the scrotum. It's called. No, but you don't see a mum. That's what he says. So he comes up with a third shita. He takes the four mumim and he splits them. He divides them in half. And he says, moch v'kosos, yes. Notuk v'koros doesn't apply to a beitzah, but applies to the gid. Says more my lab mifli. Let's say this is machlokes the mar sova chisaron mebifnim shmei chisaron umar sova lo shmei chisaron. Maybe the whole machlokes is whether or not if it's inside the body is that considered a mum.
In the middle.
Okay. The Tizbera, Rabbi Yossi Kasava, what does he hold? Ikasava chisaron mebifnim shmei chisaron Afilu nosim bechoros nami. So Rabbi Yossi saves the day here. You can't say you're pshat because it's a mamon pshat. If he holds that it's considered a chesaron whatever's inside, so it's inside, it's cut, you don't see it, too bad on you. It's a big mum. There's nothing greater than that. This animal will never have children. It has cut beitzim. So even though you don't see it, it's a mum. Vika sover lo yishmei chesaron, and if inside mumim are not considered a mum, afilu malch v'kasos nami loy. So if it's crushed, you can't see it either. So maybe we'll say Lekula Alma, a mum that's inside the body is a mum. So what's the three-way machlokes here? An outside mum. Rabbi Yehuda Sava Malch v'Kosas have a mumma. If it's crushed, it's considered mum. Why? The mikaftzon. It shrivels up, so you can actually see from the outside. It looks shriveled. That's noticeable. Nasiv v'Karos have a mumma, the ha talion, and the other two. The detached ones, so they fall to the bottom of the sack, so it's visible. You see something going on over there. It fell to the bottom. No questions on the sugi. Okay, fine. Yeah, what's the question? I thought your question was going to be what Levi asked when we got to Meir Klein. Remember the question? Where's your pictures? Where's the hands on?
It might not be.
Yeah.
Might not be a question, but you mentioned once that a lamb has a tail.
What are you looking at? You tried to crack, yeah?
And it covers the whole area.
Yeah.
So I'm saying if it was an animal that was.
Oh, that, yeah, you're right, yeah.
So maybe that would also. So we're only talking about visible defects.
That comes on later by the keva. By an animal, it's very visible. It hangs low. You can see it.
It depends on the type of.
I didn't check it out, but I'm assuming. You ever saw a goat?
I'm not really checked it out. I'm saying.
So check it out. Next time we get
It has a tail or something.
No, you're talking about something else.
Right.
Tail covers on it. Beitzim is different. It's very exposed. The whole purpose of beitzim is that it's not part of the body. Think about it. It has a different temperature. Oh, you don't have to go into details. But why is it outside of the body? It's in a sack, so it has a different temperature. So it's very exposed. There's nothing. Tails don't cover it. Believe me.
So you're saying unless you're looking at the underneath the animal.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at an animal that's regular, at what point do we classify something as a defect?
As uncovered, you're asking.
Right, as uncovered.
Well, you don't have to open something up to look inside.
So
you
it's
just
like a
it's
tail
there.
or something. Or, it has
That
like
probably,
hair.
by the way, would be in terms of mum. You're talking about sneeze. I forgot what that was. So we did learn something about that. I remember that. Yeah, you're right. Because we did learn something, but I don't remember what it was. Rebbe Lezer b'Yakov Savar Mavkos leHave Mumo the Mikar Nami Zimni the Mikavtzon. Now comes Rebbe Lezer b'Yakov says, listen, shriveled. Sometimes it's shriveled without having any mum at all. Nasi Mikaros leHave Mumo the Mikar Nami Zimni Italian. Sometimes it hangs low, sometimes not. The kitzur, you can't really tell. It's not noticeable. You can't say, oh, this animal had karus, this animal had the moch. Rabbi Yossi Savar moch v'kosas have mumo the whole lesson. So if it's crushed, what's the other word? Crushed and squashed. Then there's no beitzim. So no beitzim means that it's a mum, even if you don't see it. L'maisa, there's no beitzim, it's a mum. Nothing but karus, they have a mumma. There is no, the beitzim are there. It just happens to be detached. We're not done with the sunnah. Says the Mishnah. The way it works in some of these animals, I don't know, all animals, at least these domesticated animals, their male member has a pouch. It retracts into a pouch completely, so it's protected from thorns and who knows what. It's called a zoiven. It's very interesting that this zoiven, this pouch, it's not part of the member itself. It's just a pocket. If it's missing, it has any kind of mum, it's all over. It's a mum. Whereas the member itself, it's not the same thing. Because it could heal, like a bris. You do a bris, a couple days later.
It's like a kangaroo. A kangaroo has a pocket for the baby.
Kangaroos
Yes.
are not male.
I know.
The ones that
I
I
said
No, he's just saying
like
a pocket.
kangaroo. Like a kangaroo has the
Yeah.
pocket for a
Right.
baby. This is a pocket.
If you look, I don't know, I think, I didn't mamish ma'ayin, now I could be ma'ayin a little bit more because we have a male dog, but if it's a lot of times you look at a male dog, you don't really see anything. Like, is it a male or a female? What's going on?
The dog has no idea
It
what
has
it's
a pouch, it all disappears into the pouch. It's not like a human being that it's there.
You got a dog?
The area, what?
You got a dog?
Yes, you didn't hear
Now
the
whole
crazy
world has
moves?
to know you have a dog.
Yeah, we got a therapy dog. For
What?
so. Derech Agav, I'm not kidding. Because I learned the sugya, a big save, I realized that we have a problem of, like we're going to see in a second, we have a problem, like you neuter these animals, so otherwise they're crazy. It's also la halacha to be misaris an animal, like we're going to see. So, and what? So then my son tells me, sell it to the guy. You're not allowed to cause it to be misurs. It's really true. I didn't look into the halacha yet, but that's another halacha that came up on Friday afternoon. Is you can't touch a dog according to the Mishnah Berurah. You can't on Shabbos.
If it's yours, you're not allowed to touch a dog?
No.
If you're the Bailam? No, not true. If you're the Bailam.
Pick it up. No, you cannot pick it up.
So I ran around, started looking, and then so Rabbi Tendler brings in the Igros Moshe that he made for this, that his father said you could. It's a whole complicated, because Ramosha says you could if it's a eyesight dog, it's a handicapped dog. He doesn't talk anything about a pet, l'shashua. But there's people that talk about it, and then I have a major problem in my house. I shouldn't have brought it up because even if it was 100% also the Raisa, the person that needs therapy, not me. We'll get into that a different time. If somebody has a good heter, let me know, please. I did not touch it on Shabbos.
Next present we'll collect, we're going to get...
Caused a big problem. Like, I don't want to touch one, you don't like my dog. Okay.
The shear's going to get...
And then he's right. There is a difference in Achrayim, there's a difference between lifting it up and petting it. Which I don't know what it is, because muktzah is even moving the hair would be muktzah.
And taking it for a
You should get
taking a walk.
You need to get a girl dog. Why should it go crazy? You should just have
No, girls also. Girls also.
You're not a
No, girls also use misaris. You're not misaris, you take out the... Yeah. Okay, so the Mishnah, only 2 minutes. Now, of course, a Bechor can't be a female, right? A Bechor, we're talking about a Shlomim. So her nekevos is Nivgam. Nivgam has zonov min ha'etzem if the tail got damaged, is missing part where it has bone by the vertebrae of the tail, not between the vertebrae. Avaloi min ha'perek, not between the vertebrae. Oy shereish zonov mefatzel. Nikla fa'oiva. I think somebody. That's what's going on here. The kitzur, the end of the tail, the tip of the tail is open, exposed. The skin is coming off. It's so interesting because on Shabbos afternoon we had guests, and one of the guests was talking about in Africa these women that put these rings around their necks and they extend their neck to crazy amounts. But if they remove it, he said, their neck they die on the spot because there's no vertebrae. The vertebrae doesn't grow, their neck grows, and there's tremendous separation between the vertebrae. Wow. And all of a sudden, I'm learning this Mishnah. After he left, I want to call him up and say, he's mamish mechamed to the Mishnah. If there's a lot of meat between the chulya, miloy etzba, that's a mum. Omer, unbelievable. I don't know where you got to this. Omer Rabbi Lazar, nivgam v'loy nital. We're talking about the zoyven again. This pouch of the zachros, if it has a little begima, it's missing. V'loy nital. Not the whole pouch came off. Because if the whole pouch was removed, as the Gemara say, an animal came and ripped the whole pouch off without the member, it will grow back. But a tiny part of it that comes off, that won't grow back. V'lo nidal kis, v'lo zachros. Obviously, the zachros is there. Tanya nami hachi nivgam v'lo nidal kis v'lo zachros. Or there's a story in the city called Inbal. Be'echot shenetoloi, there was a poor animal, it had a bad day. Shenetoloi ze'ev v'chazar le'sanai. A wolf came, ripped off his whole pouch, but it grew back. It can rip off the whole pouch, but if it has a nick, a tiny nick, that won't grow back.
If it has a tiny what?
Nick on the pouch. It's a mum, rip the whole... The kids are... If
there's a nick, it's not going to grow back, but if the whole pouch is gone, it will grow back.
You can't do surgery and cut it off and it won't grow back.
Time out. Should we just stop
No,
here?
we shouldn't stop here. Yeah. We'll go to the end of the page. There's
a lot of etzbais. There's a tefach made out of 6 pinkies, a tefach made out of 4 thumbs, and in between one. What are we talking about? Says the Gemara, we're talking about the thumb. It's 4, so it's 25% of a tefach. There's 3 things. The Tanya we just learned in Menachos. There's 3 strings, 4 strings. How long do the strings have to hang down? We're talking about a thumb over there. Remember the 2 measuring sticks in the Beis Hamikdash. There's a room called Shushan Abir in the Beis Hamikdash. Achashal Karen, Al Karen Mizrach Tzvayin, Al Karen Mizrach Droimis. Shal Karen Mizrach Tzvayin, so I see Sarah Shal Moshe Rabbeinu's had 6 achim, so they added a finger, Chatzi Etzba. They added a half Etzba. So instead of being 24 fingers, it's 24 and a half fingers. Shal Karen Mizrach Droimis, so I see Sarah Chatzi Etzba. So instead of being 24 fingers, it's 25 fingers. Nimtzis Yisera Shal Moshe Etzba, full finger, instead of 24 is 25. Why did they have measuring sticks that had larger than Moshe Rabbeinu? You had a guy, he said he's going to build something for you, and you paid him, the Beis Hamikdash paid him, he had to give more than he bargained for. For gold and silver, obviously it's much more, so you go less. He only has to give a half a finger more. Our sugya is the thumb vertebrae.
Oh, yeah.
Have a wonderful day.